Welcome to this special edition of News Beyond the Headlines. So, where we bring to you individuals face to face with those who are in the political space in Kenya and also who are shaping the public discourse and leadership in the country. Today, we are joined by a man who is known for his bold voice in healthcare advocacy and also Kenyan political arena. Seth Panyako is the Kenya National Union of Nurses Secretary General, and also he's one of the candidates vying for the Malava parliamentary seat. Karibu sana mheshimiwa.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Very good. Also, how is everything matters nurses in the country?
Matters of nurses in the country, at the moment, we are not at our best. We have serious challenges that ought to be addressed, and very soon we might be headed for a very serious national industrial action, because those issues, we have tried to have them resolved over almost 2 years now down the line. Since this government came in place, and nothing has been resolved, and therefore some of them are long-standing issues that have been with us for some time. So we are going to convene the National Governing Council someday this month, so that they can give me the authority to give the national strike notice to try to see if the government can address those issues.
1 to 3 key issues that needs to be addressed.
Key issue number 1 is that the universal health coverage staff who have been working on dubious, illegal, and constitutional and contract that goes against the policies, employment policies of the country for the last 5 years. You cannot have children of people who have gone to school earning peanuts, like you're earning almost a third what your colleagues are earning in this economic hardship. And that small stipend they are being paid is also being deducted, subjected to all forms of deduction. So at the end of the day, a worker costs almost 30,000 shillings. What will you do with that one? Will that be transport? Will that one be house rent? Will that one be food? Will that be school for children? We find this as economic crime and economic supporting this group of workers, because they are Kenyans and they have a right to enjoy all the rights, because the nurses and other health workers, apart from the doctors, are the ones who are subjected to this kind of dubious employment, because doctors who are on UHC earn according to the SRC approved salaries that is contained in the CBA for the doctors. But these other health workers, including nurses, are the ones which are subjected to this dubious kind of work arrangement. And that's what you're saying. That's issue number 1 that must be resolved. We had been engaging the government for a very long time, and they have been telling us after the expiry of this contract, we are going to absorb them, we are going to factor money in the budget. This budget that is ongoing, that has not yet been approved by Parliament, we were promised, even Parliament depended, Senate depended, National Assembly, and also the Senate, and they agreed that money must be factored in the budget. But when we met CS Duale last week, he told us that, the money is not available, we are going to absorb them next year, we are going to transfer them to the counties with the current stimbet. So I said, this is a government that doesn't care. Why will you want to talk about universal health coverage when you are frustrating those very people who are supposed to be spearheading that universal health coverage? So as a professional, you cannot sit back and see our colleagues being frustrated, being mistreated, and clearly doing what you call economic sabotaging to our members and Kenyan citizens. The issue number 2 is about the staff shortage for the nurses across the country. The shortage for nurses across the country is so big that to say you can deliver healthcare services, you'll be lying. So that's the area that we want the government to approach to resolve. Because remember, when we came in power, I'm saying we, because at that time I was among the people who founded UDA, and we founded UDA on the foundation that is a government that's going to be listening, especially with the workers. You remember the nurses were the only union that supported this government. The other unions were with Azimio. But immediately we took our power, we changed into something that I don't know. So the issue of staff shortage, nurse shortage, must be addressed. Another issue that must be addressed is the return to work formula for the nurses of 2017. Government cannot be making promises and agreements with workers, and then the renege on those agreements for no good reason. You cannot tell us, for example, that there's no money. I have been looking at the budget. This is the first time I've scrutinized the budget, and I've told my experts to advise me on it. I've looked at like when the UHC staff only requires 3.5 billion on top of what is contained in the budget today for them to go to permanent and pensionable and have a decent life. I looked at the budget, the office of the president. It has 2.5 billion for painting, to go and paint State House. Shamelessly. You know, these people do things like, they think Kenyans, you are so stupid, you are so dumb, we can't see what they're doing. That is actually legislating stealing. Why do you go and to paint State House 2.5 billion? The other time they were given money, when they went there, they renovated, they changed everything. They removed clubs where people go there and wine, they removed all those things. Now, they are saying they want to pay with 2.5 billion. They have allocated the office of the president 12.5 billion just for moving around the country and campaigning. Campaigns are going to come in 2027. So I'm asking the president, if he cares for the people of Kenya, let him remove 3.5 billion from his 12 billion, from this 15 billion, to give to the universal health coverage staff for them to be absorbed. Nothing short of that. When we go on strike, we're not going to go back until these universal health coverage staff are absorbed and they are given an opportunity to live like other Kenyans, because the situation for them is pathetic. The children are being sent at home. You can imagine you are going home and you are working and your child has been told to come back home. You have no money. Some of them, they don't have school fees. Some of them, houses are being locked simply because we have some greedy men and women at the top of the government who don't care about everything. Why do you want 15 billion for painting and moving around the country when the core program that you wrote on to come to power was universal health coverage? Why can't you take 3.5 billion from a 15 billion and put that money in the universal health coverage? I'm telling the president, we will tell you these things without fear of contradiction, because these are our taxes. And we have every right to ask that our taxes must be properly utilized for the benefit of Kenyans. Yeah.
Talking matters nurses, very soon we are going to commemorate and celebrate the Nurses Week. Do we have anything to celebrate about for many years?
The fact that I'm here with you speaking about the plight of the nurses on the platform of the union is a fact to celebrate. That nurses have a platform through which they can air their views, they can approach their employers, and they can debate, and they can be defended. In the past, we didn't have a trade union, and people will just trod in on our rights. So we have that to celebrate. Despite the fact that we're saying that there is much that ought to be done for the nursing profession, we have progressed from where we were to a certain level. The truth is that we are not where we were 15 years ago. We have made tremendous improvement. If you take a nurse who retired like 10 years ago and you bring that nurse back to work and sees the working environment, he or she will see some slight improvement from where we were. The fact that we are agitating for better terms and condition of service, it doesn't mean that we have nothing to celebrate. For example, in the national government, the last employment that took place, immediately before devolution, they employed 300 nurses across the country. Immediately after devolution, a count like Machakos alone employed 800 nurses. One count alone. So the number of nurses in public sector, because of the county government's employment, moved from about 8,700 to now about 2,000. But that's still a drop in the sea, because we need about 120,000 nurses in public sector in Kenya. So you can see that gap is so big. And yet our government is not prioritizing health, is not doing anything. Another thing, I didn't mention that when you asked about the issues that will make us go on strike. The medical cover. Nurses and other health workers are not able to access healthcare because the thing called SHA, they keep saying SHA is not working. When you go there, they tell you it's locked. Money has not been submitted, has been deducted, has not been remitted. These are not things that used to be there when it was UHC. One of the main problems that we have is to take public funds to be received and managed by private entities. So it's just about business. It is not about service delivery. If it was about service delivery, our money would not be being received by private entities and managed by private entities. No one has explained to us what was the problem when SHA was collecting that money. You said private institutions, private hospitals were stealing public funds. Now you have taken public funds and given the private entity legally. You have stolen it through the law. That's what they have done through SHA. Our money is not being collected by government. Public funds is being collected by private institutions. And these private institutions are forking out 104.8 billion. What they are calling a system of management, ITSP, what have you. These are things that could be done internally the way it has been done the way the way NHIF had done over years. In fact, NHIF, what it used to do with the little it used to get from us is still superior compared to what SHA is giving today. That's a fact. SHA could be good, but it has not been properly implemented because of private corrupt interests. No one has told us why our money is being managed, collected and managed by private entities. So I think, going back to the question of what is there for us to celebrate, I think I've mentioned to you that we have made strides in terms of improvement of the staff, though we are not where we're supposed to be. We have a platform where we can air our views, we can defend the rights of the nurses, and generally we are moving forward. And because of the activities and functions of this trade union, we will continue to improve the terms and conditions of service for the nurses. We have a situation where health workers, not even health workers alone, county public service employees, those who work at the county government, do not get salary even for 3 months. How do you expect them to survive? You know, if you're a public servant and you don't pay rent for 2 months and they have paid you salary, and your landlord comes and throws you out, and it is put on the media, you will be dismissed from the government employment on what they call pecuniary embarrassment. Now the government is the one that is pecuniarily embarrassing workers. What are workers supposed to do? You can't access medical cover, you have not paid your rent, you have no food, your children have been sent away from school, and then you are working for a government that is not bankrupt. Yeah.
Currently, we have most of the counties, doctors are on strike.
Correct.
Do you feel like nurses are overwhelmed at this point, and what needs to be done?
No, nurses cannot be overwhelmed for reasons which are very obvious. We don't do doctors' work. We do what we are supposed to do. Our work is to see patients and hand over to the doctors to clerk them. When we see patients, we hand over the doctors to clerk, and it's not doctor to clerk. The work ends there because we cannot do our doctor's work. That's the way the doctors can't do our work. So when we are on strike, we are the only people close hospitals completely, because without nurses, nothing can go on in hospitals. But for the doctors, the strikes they are justified, because here in Kakamega, I know they're on strike. They are justified because they have grievances that have not been resolved by the government for a long time, just like us. And nurses cannot be overwhelmed by doctors being on strike for the reason that we do not do the doctor's work. What will happen is, if something is supposed to be done by doctors, we cannot do it. We'll simply sit there and wait for the doctors to come.
Okay. Your biggest legacy as a SG NAN, Kenya National Union of Nurses. The biggest, like you say, this was me.
The biggest
legacy.
Oh, first of all, I can tell you for free, I won't talk even in terms of money. We have restored dignity in the nursing profession. And that is what I love most. Nurses of this country today, they are very respected. In the past, we used to be not respected. We have come up strongly to defend our rights and to defend our profession. And we have managed to do that. I won't call it the material aspect. For some reasons, I won't do that. But I'm saying generally, we have managed to defend our profession. We have brought back our dignity. We have a platform where we are able to say, giving the nurses this union is my biggest achievement. Even if I left today, this union will not die with me. It will be there. My great-grandchildren will find it. So this is my biggest achievement, because I was the founder of this union. I spearheaded the finding and the registration of this union, and I've continued to fight for the right of the nurses. So my greatest achievement is this union.
Being the only union in the country, as you say, that supported the government of the day, do you feel betrayed? I feel,
and nurses feel betrayed so much, because they expected that, in fact, the first union to visit State House and state their issues will have been the nurses union. I have even written to the president asking for a meeting to bring all nurses leaders to State House to just have a meeting with him and discuss issues affecting our profession. He has refused. So on what basis can I continue being in a government that I formed that does not care about me? Because when they do that, maybe they are fighting my leadership. Because why will you want to bring people to you who never assisted you and leave? And those who assisted you have my chance to come and sit with you and give you their part of the story on what I think should be done. So I feel betrayed as a founder. I was the founding debut chair, program and strategy of the United Democratic Alliance Party, the ruling party. Of course, I've resigned from the party, and my people have already told me yesterday the party they want me to belong to. Very soon, we shall be unveiling my political party in the journey of getting back my seat. Thank you. Yeah.
As the vice chair of UDA, I mean, like, do you feel betrayed because of whatever happened with the nurses, or you had your own personal issues with the president?
No personal issues. I have to admit to you that the president offered me a position of principal secretary, and I advised him to take either Inyangala, the one now the PS for education, or the MCA for Peter Jekulo, known as Kevin. Those are the two names I gave him, and he settled on Inyangala. So on that basis, I cannot blame him. He gave me an offer, and I rejected that.
Wow.
It was the broader, no, I can't be employed. I'm too big for a PS. Even a CS, I'm too big for a CS. I can, nurses are taking good care of me.
Okay.
And I cannot. My level is at that level. I cannot leave that level and come down here. I'm above the CS, I'm above.
So were you expecting another bigger seat than that?
I wasn't. Perhaps the question should be, what was my problem?
Oh, okay. What was your
I had many problems with this government. One of the problem was, I realized we cheated our people during the campaigns as a party.
At what point did you realize that?
Immediately, we took over government. I didn't even need 3 months to realize that we cheated our people. One of the areas we cheated our people was about housing levy. We told our people that we are going to build affordable houses and create jobs. We never told workers we are going to get that money from your pay slips. We never said that. We never said that. If we said that, I would have been the first person to bolt out of UDA, even before elections. So that was an area that we cheated our people. We told people that we are going to kazi ni kazi, pesa mfukoni. Today, look at your payslip. Taxes have gone up. Look at SHA. We dismantled NHIF. We brought SHA, and now we're deducting 2.7% from a gross salary. Personally, I'm paying around 30-something thousand shillings, 39,000 shillings. But when you look at what 1,700 did when it was NHIF, and you compare with what is happening today with SHA, where I'm paying almost 3,000% more than what I used to pay, you say somebody is seriously robbing Kenyans. Not corruption. You know, corruption requires some intelligence. What they are doing is not corruption. It is robbery. Because with corruption, you require some intelligence to know how to get the money fixed. You know, this one, they have just taken our... Look at it, for example. When they gave Safaricom the issue of IT management for the SHA system, Safaricom quoted 102.4 billion. They came in with Adani and those criminals. And they came in with another company. They went to Safaricom and said, let us double. They just say 102.4 times 2. Then it became 52.4 times 2. It went to 104.8 billion. That's not corruption. That's theft. The basic, theft. You double everything. Corruption requires some level of intelligence. This one of ours in this government is outright theft and robbery. Robbery. Even robbery requires some kind of intelligence. Just theft for common thieves. A common thief just come and steals a chicken here. That's how they're doing it. They have reduced Kenya to where now the way they are taking our money is normal theft. Like pickpocketers on the street. They are pickpocketing Kenyans. How do you just take 152.5 times 2? Then you got 104.8 billion. And you ask, can you get our money and you put in a private company, which are yours? We know who owns the share companies, managing share company. We know them. E-citizen, all your taxes are going to somebody before they go to KRA. That's how you can never have enough taxes to run this country. It's a shame.
But with this kind of information, as an individual, you can as well go to, courts.
Which courts?
Kenya courts.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there. You ask me, yes, that's disappointing. That's one area that disappointed me. Generally, the way we have run the country has been, when I was there, I'm saying we because I hold responsibility. We brought this government in place and I can't run away from it. I've run away, I'm not part of them. But I'll continue saying because we participated in it. Look at the way they handled our young people when they went on the street. They killed them. Killed them center, left, right for asking what was rightfully theirs. And somebody just comes and says, oh, go and teach your children manners. Do you have manners yourself when you are robbing us? When you are stealing from us? Where did the manners go? How can you take a program that is supposed to provide health care for 55 million Kenyans take that money and put in a private entity. And then you tell us our children don't have manners. Because children learn from what we do. If you are stealing, your child sees you stealing, your child will steal. Because your child will know that now the only way to fame and being rich is through stealing. So the child will learn from what you're doing. So if our children don't have manners, then their parents don't have the manners. Yes.
Other than nurses and whatever you're talking about, now let's come to Malava constituency. You were an aspirant the last elections. Here you are, you're saying you're still bold and you still want for that seat.
Correct.
Please tell us, why would you want to move from now the healthcare advocacy? Now you're going into, parliament. You want to join the assembly. Do you want to continue with your voice as a healthcare advocacy?
The most undoing for nurses in this country and other health workers, apart from doctors, has been their failure to appreciate the role that political leadership play in shaping the overall policy that governs our country. Because when you go to parliament, for example, the other time you had, I went to court and I challenged Health Act 2017, and the court agreed with me and others, and it was, those clauses were declared unconstitutional, that were saying nurses cannot be chief executive officers of health institutions in Kenya. If we had nurses in parliament, that would not have gone through. Today we are talking about a budget that's supposed to have factored money for UHC. Only doctors have their money factored and they're earning according to SRC. Nurses and other health workers, their money has not been factored. Why? Because when you go to health committee today, the chair is Dr. Nyekal, the deputy is Pogisho, all of them are doctors. And the committee is made of 75% doctors. So when they sit there, they discuss about the welfare of the doctors, not the welfare of healthcare workers. Go to Afya House. When you go to Afya House, even the head of the nursing services, the director of nursing services, is a doctor. So if we do not appreciate the role that political leadership play in shaping the policies that govern this country, then we will continue having problems year in, year out. That's the good thing of doing an interview at home. The people know that I'm actually a man here. I have some chicken. I have chicken. You see, that's the good thing. So we believe that in the next election we will be taking bold, decisive steps to support nurses to participate in the electoral process by voting and by going for the seats, so that we can have a voice both in Parliament, Senate, and even county assemblies. Yeah.
That is one of the reasons as to why you're joining Malava parliamentary seat. But I don't know why MP and not governor and not any other seat, because you said those ulikuwa pewa na presidents zilikuwa
correct.
Dogo sana.
Correct.
Why
correct.
Malava
correct. The principal secretary's post is actually an employer. Let me now simplify it. Okay. You become an employer. Cabinet secretary, you become an employer. Governor, you become an employer. Only seats where you can continue as an activist, either be a senator, or to be a member of parliament, or to be a member of county assembly. All other executive positions, as a trade unionist, you cannot go. Once you go there, you resign from the trade union. And therefore, if you resign from the trade union, the pressure of the workers will not mount on you. So when you sit in parliament, you start drifting away. You start drifting away and start becoming a normal politician. But once you are in parliament and you know you have attack of leaders of a worker, you will always be thinking about workers. Some of the greatest leaders I've had in this country came from trade union movement. There are times when Kenyatta and this group were taken to Kapenguri and the emergency was declared. Who was running the road to freedom? It was trade union in Kenya. Kenya African Workers Union, Federation of Kenya Labor. That's what they were doing when Kenyatta and this group were taken to prison. That's why we had people like Tomboya, we had people like all these kind of people that Kakia, all they came from trade union movement. People like Francis Lubembe, the father of Kidu Mukai, you know, Kidu Mukai is a son of soil from Kakamega. You see, so we are proud of him. But at that time, I asked him to come and be governor of Kakamega.
You know? So you joined Malava parliamentary seat for campaigns last year, last
2022. Yes.
Yes. Well, how was it? Because again, at the end of the day, I know you became number 2. You went to court. Yes, and now here you are. Do you believe that the elections that placed you as number 2 were fair?
No, they weren't, because I won. The one who went to parliament was actually number 3. I'm sorry, let him go in peace. But Maluli Njendi was not even number 2. He was number 3. He got 8,000 votes. I was number 1 with about 25,000 votes. And Manyasi was number 2 with about 13,000 votes. He got 8,000 votes. But that's how our election systems are. Those who are not elected go to parliament. Those who are elected remain outside. So you expect them to do what in parliament? The one who helps you to go to parliament, when he says, go and pass this bill, yes. Go and pass that all the mothers will walk naked in the street, you say yes. Go and pass that we deny children school fees, say yes. Nowadays, I've been told, they even passed a law, now our colleges are not getting funds. The one they used to get during Uhuru's time and Kibaki's time. Our college students are not getting it. You have seen how chaos the university has become. Our systems have completely been interfered. I don't think good governance requires that you come and change everything. You come and improve on what is already there. The problem we have had is that the hustler narrative was, I think it meant that maybe all Kenyans become poor and a few people become rich, because that's what I've seen. If you are Mama Mboka and we told you form governments, Mama Mbokas, are they part of government? They are crying.
Yeah.
So we from where I see it is that elections in Kenya have never been a reflection of the wish of the people, but a by-election will definitely be a reflection of the will of the people, because to rig a by-election is almost impossible. You saw in Matungu, they tried to rig, and the ANC stood firm, and I was supporting ANC at that time. We won that seat. You have seen all by-elections, almost all by-elections in Kenya, after multi-party democracy, there's no one that has been won by government.
Does it mean that Malava people are so democratic? Because currently what I've heard is that we have over 30 aspirants in this coming by-election.
I'm not quite sure about aspirants, because you have political brokers who want to put names of people on the list so that they start running and getting money from people. We'll only know aspirants when we have, after the nomination. When the period for nomination comes in and they have announced, people will apply to political parties. IEBC will be able to give us the names of those who will apply. From where I see today, it's just imaginations. Even myself, I'm just imagining, because there is nothing that has been declared. IEBC is not even in place. The seat itself has not been declared vacant by Speaker of the National Assembly. So we from where I see it is that we do not have aspirants yet. And aspirants, when the political parties will say, these are our candidates, they become aspirants. Once we go through nomination, we become candidates. So at the moment, no single political party has given us a list of the people who want to be candidates on their political party. So we can't have aspirants. Those are just imaginations that people have.
If the previous elections, they were credible or not, as you say, you feel like they were not credible.
They were not.
But we have the son of the former, the late Malulu Njendi is also coming. Are you scared?
Scared for what?
Because he was there, he was a member of parliament, and then the son is coming.
First, to speak about an individual sometimes is challenging. Sometimes it's not good to talk about an individual, because he may not be here if I say some things maybe which he cannot defend. But from where I see it, he's not a threat. He'll never be a threat in Malava, even without Panyako. Even if I left Malava politics, that Malulu's son will never be a threat to any other politician.
Do you think that, what is happening in Malava? Because we've seen like the president's aide, Farouk has been in Malava like almost every month.
And I've told him, let him continue coming and dishing out money, because we know Farouk is just a small boy here in the village, my neighbor here. And where is he getting money? He has no industry. He has no business. He doesn't manufacture money. So I'm telling people, take that money. It is your money. It's your taxes. Get it. But for the vote, they cannot direct the people of Malava where to vote. They will vote for the person they want. Either Panyako, either Malulu's son, either those others who are contesting. But I can tell you for free, they will not vote. Nobody will come out to dictate to us on how to vote. And I can tell you for free, the vote for Malava is going to the opposition. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And the fact that you're saying he is dishing out money, are you by any chance saying that he's enticing people
to vote for their candidate? Of course, that's corruption. Why come in Malava all the time? How many constituencies do you have in Kakamega? Why only Malava? All the time you're in Malava dishing out money. And that's definitely trying to bribe people and trying to tell people that we are helping you. How can you be rich than your own country? I was asking that question yesterday. How can an individual be richer than his own country? You are dishing money in a constituency where children have not gone to school. They have been sent back home because they have no school fees. Here is a person bringing millions every day. Why can't we have this money they are stealing from the Kenyans, from the taxes, brought into a kitty to make education completely free? I speak without fear of contradiction. Where is Farouk Kibet getting this money? We have no idea whether he has any company anywhere manufacturing money. This is our money. Let him bring, let us eat it. But when it comes for the vote, they must know that they are voting for their dignity. the people of Malava, the election that's coming to happen, this by-election, is going to define the future of the Luhya nation in the Kenyan politics. So they must vote knowing that.
I heard that you're being seduced to join the party UDA to go back.
No, really, I can't go back there. I can't go back there.
Have they reached out?
They have not. They fear. They cannot. How will they get to me?
Why do you?
They have frustrated me. They have frustrated me. They have they frustrated me. They have done very bad things to me. How can I go back there? And I have told you that I'm a man of my own principles. I would rather stand with dignity than go to parliament as a person who is someone's slave. I will not allow that. As I go to parliament, you want to pass a budget that's going to kill my people, and I'm saying yes.
Are you by any chance calling those leaders who are allied to Kenya Kwanza slaves?
I have said they are slaves. They are subject of the president. They have no brain of their own. They are the disgrace to the people of Kenya. You cannot be a parliament and you are being directed by the executive. Kenyans never elected you to get orders from State House. They elected you to legislate, to represent, and to oversight. There is nowhere in those three functions of the parliament where it says you will get orders from the executive. If we have three arms of government fused together, the person who will suffer is a Kenyan. And that's why I'm saying I want to be one of the few voices still in parliament. Not all parliament is rotten. We have a few whose voices is small. And if we have the privilege to increase that voice that will stand for the Kenyan people, then the Kenyan people must do that. I am offering myself as a next voice to that voice that will stand with the people of Kenya.
Ashma, the way you're talking is like you're looking for an angelic party. Do you have such?
It is not about a political party. It's about personal principles and what you believe in. Probably. But you cannot clearly go to a party that has just killed our children the other day. You cannot go to a political party that is stealing, robbing our taxes daytime and dishing them outside. Hata kama una biashara, which business can you remove 10 million right now, give this charge, tomorrow 5 million this charge, the other day 20 million this? Which business is that? Where will you get that? All of us know the salary the president earns. All of us know the salary the members of parliament earn. I don't know what Farouk earns, but where does he get this money? So it's not about a political party. I can even go back to that UDA, but they will not give me what they will do. They will rip me out. So there are only two political parties that is going to participate in Malava: the Kenya Kwanza political party and the opposition political party. So you are either in the government or in opposition. I choose to be in the opposition. I choose to be with the people.
Which party?
We will be unveiling our party very soon. It will be colorful. It will be powerful.
Is it a Luhya party?
My party leader will be a Luhya. Definitely. Because we have been used for a long time as a Luhya nation. Our numbers have never counted. Everybody comes here fishing center left, right. Then we keep blaming our leaders. You claim that Mudavadi has not delivered. You didn't give him. Even Mudavadi is member of parliament, is UDA. How do you want him to perform? You blame all our leaders. You blame them, and yet you don't vote for their political parties. Kenyan politics is tribal, and international politics is tribal. Trump wrote on power by telling people, let us chase away everybody. Let America remain for the white people. And that's how the Americans have voted him, on tribe, on race. Race is like tribe. So you cannot run away from tribal politics. You'll be cheating. Everybody, when you begin, you say, I have my people. Then you want to look for others. If you have nothing, you look for who?
Actually, we have rumors going around that you have already settled for a political party because you have given money, specifically Angola.
No, I can't manage me. Views of a leader, I want to be my national party. I'm sorry to say this on national television. He lost me when he misbehaved some time back. I cannot call a national leader and you put him on speaker, and you don't tell me I put you on speaker. The law requires that when you are speaking to somebody and you want to put him on speaker, you tell him, I'm putting you on speaker. Wetangula called me and he was with other Luhya leaders and he put me on speaker. Without telling me. He lost me. Completely.
Wow.
And he does not have what I thought he had. I cannot be in his political party. That one is dead on arrival.
Wow. Talking about Luhyas and Wetangula and Mudavadi. So then, are you by any chance will you be able to have a sitting with them when you're talking about Luya unity that has been advocated by Natembea and other leaders in the country?
You know, I don't believe in the Luya unity.
Okay.
I believe in coming up with a leadership that is sensitive to the needs of our people. The people will follow us themselves when you offer that alternative leadership. Michael Omalo Kijana did not have to walk around telling people Luya unity. We simply followed him and voted for Mike Kibaki. When the late Masinde Muliro was alive, we simply followed him in the opposition and voted for Kadu. So we don't need anybody moving around saying Luya unit. What we need is to come together as leaders. For example, we have established there is a gap when elections come that Luya political parties do not have enough parliamentarians and they don't have enough votes for them to be given an opportunity to sit at the national level and discuss issues that can bring development to our area. And Raila Odinga has been benefiting from Western for all these years. Now we are saying, no, let us put our people together so that when a time of men and women are sitting on the table to chart the way forward for this country, we are not sitting there to bring a national figure, a national, they say they took my brother, senior brother to UDA because of the national image. We don't want national image. We want to sit on that table because we have the people supporting us. We have our people behind us. There's no way you will sit on that table as an equal partner when you are coming just to bring a national image. And that is why you see some people, when people want to sign a MOS, some are being told go and give a bus in Malava. You know, when you are in the house and a visitor has arrived, you tell the children to go and play outside. Big people want to talk. We don't want that kind of relationship. We want a relationship of mutual respect for all leaders. And you can't, respect is earned. You can't demand for it. It comes by, I'm respected in this country not because I've asked for respect. I think I'm among the small leaders in Kenya where you can go to Mandera and you talk about Panyako. Somebody will tell, Ule Jama, they know me everywhere. Not because I've asked anyone to know me, but because of the position and the directions I've taken throughout my public life that God has given me. And I'll continue doing that. So the issue of us being on the national table as bringing the image, national image must end. We must be there as equal partners, equal social, political, and economic partners. And this will come if we are able to articulate issues affecting our people on the ground and go with them. That's the only thing. Hakuna shortcut ya hiyo.
Ndavaji Wetare in the government, do you think they're not addressing issues that are affecting Malava Nation?
You see, even if they may want to address, this is the area where I agree with them. Even if they may want to address, they don't have a platform. Do they have? If your own member of parliament is from another political party, what will Malava speak before the president? He will only be left as a runner boy, running around and doing errands. That's why I give you an example of a child in the house. The visitor has come and the father says, I want to have a meeting here. Fukuza watoto waende nje, give the children, go and kimbisha hiyo kuku, ichinjwe, mkeni akule. Sasa tunaongea mambo ya watu wakupa hapo kwa boma.
So how will you describe Ndavadi?
No, I respect him a lot, but you see, politically, we have not made stride with him as a Luya nation. You can't compare with people like Michael Omalo Kijana. You can't compare like Masinde Muliro. You cannot compare even the late Martin Shikuku. These are people who made history in this country and they made Luya nation to be respected. But now today, I likely blame the Luya themselves as a voter. Because if you don't vote for your own leaders, then you come ask them to deliver. What do you expect Mudavadi is going to deliver when you didn't give him when you have made his own member of parliament, a UDM member of parliament, his MCA is ODM? What do you expect him to do? That's where we go wrong. And these are the things we want to correct. Give your leaders the powers, the platform to represent you. And that is only through the vote. If you don't vote for the Luya political parties, not political parties, we want to identify one political party and rally behind that political party so that we are respected. We when we send our party leaders there, tunajua tunapeleka watu wako na kura. Period. So I don't say David has not performed. I can't say Wetangula has not performed because they have not been enabled by our people.
What is the take on this coalition pact between Raila Odinga and Ruto?
There's no coalition there. That's partnership for convenience and self-enrichment. It has nothing to do with the welfare of the people. How can Raila Odinga go and ride on the deaths of our children, and when something happens wrong, he that he wants to move out? He's eating until last minute. And the last minute he'll bolt out and say, oh, I gave you my people, you did not do any, listen to them, so I've taken them back. He's con man. That's political conmanship. And this is what must be stopped. If you want to be in a coalition with a government, the law stipulates how to do it. You cannot be in opposition and you are in government. That is disrespectful to the people. He wrote to that government on the blood of our children. It's a blood government. It's shameful. Raila must apologize to Kenyan people, especially the young people. He had his people in government because of the blood that was poured by our children. Yes.
What is the take on Oparanya deputizing Ruto? Because actually that is something that a lot of leaders from this region have been pushing.
I've still told you that you cannot be at national platform when you have no numbers. Mm-hmm. I still don't see any Luya at the moment having numbers to imagine being a deputy president in a serious election. Because for you to be a deputy president in a serious election, you must command the people from where you come from. You must have that block. Like Kashakwa had the Kikuyu block when he came. Like Kalonzo has a block. Ukambani, if he be a deputy president, who in Luya land has a block of the Luya nation? Nobody. And that is what we want to build from Malava. Malava is not about the election of someone going to parliament. It's about an election of making the Luya nation to be dignified. Let us vote for ourselves. Let us send a message outside there that enough is enough. Over 60 years, we have been used, but we've not gotten anywhere. We have the largest numbers. In fact, the Chit Central Kikuyus are more than us. They're not more than us. These people, nursery schools have closed. If nursery schools have closed, where are these children coming from to beat us? We are giving birth to 10 children, 6, and then somebody who has no nursery school because there are no children is having more numbers than us. That is not true. We are not using our numbers. I hope my people listen, and I hope the Malava people, the Kapras people, and I'm proud of them, listen to the Luya nation. The bell for the Luya nation to wake up is now ringing. It is time, now or never.
For Malava people, what is your vision? What is this one thing that you want to do for these Malava people?
Oh, I have great things that I would wish to do, but I can't do it because the mind belongs to them. So they is to allow the people of Malava to decide how their national government constituency development fund will be used through public participation. So that when we do those projects, nobody raises a question on me that why did you do this? We do public participation. We draw a strategic plan for the 5 years or for the 2 years if I'm elected, and which I believe I'm going to be elected for 2 years. We agree this is what we are going to do. But to begin from, I will be advising them that we must complete the project started by the late Honorable Moses Malulu Injendi, because that is public funds. I have seen some politicians, some constituencies where when they come in office, they abandon the project started by their predecessors. We cannot do that. We will finish all those projects started by Honorable Moses Malulu Injendi as we do public participation to get the priorities of the people. And then we will go ahead. Like if I'm elected, the first stop after swearing in, I'll go to Kiharu to sit down with Ndindi Nyoro. I want to know what Ndindi Nyoro does, because in Kiharu, parents only pay 1,000 shillings for day schools. That is something that I wish to introduce in Malava immediately I'm elected. All schools in Malava pay 1,000 or free. But I will learn from somebody who has done it. I want to invent any wheel. Ndindi Nyoro has already invented that wheel. Me is to go to Kiharu, sit down with Ndindi Nyoro, my brother, tell me how you managed it. Malava people are suffering. I want to assist them. And that will be the first thing I will do if elected. That may not require participation because they don't know what Ndindi Nyoro is doing. There are certain decisions that you make up there on the virtue that you are a member of parliament. So I will rush to Ndindi Nyoro and ask him to give me tips on how he did it and make secondary school education day school free. Parents only to pay 1,000 like Kiharu.
I know you understand the challenges that are in Malava. Some challenges cut across.
All right.
Specific for Malava.
I will be able to say them, but I will say that people will prioritize. It's not me to prioritize them. One is we have certain roads that are national that have not been completed for many years. Malava Road to Samithi, all the way to Navaholo, to Shanda, where is here in Mumias East. That road I'll ensure that it's completed, because I saw like the money had been allocated. That road should be completed. Malava sub-county hospital, which was a level 4, has been downgraded to level 3. It follows that the KMT that was to be constructed cannot continue because there's no training facility. I'll ensure that Malava level 3 hospital now is upgraded to level 4 and 5. I'll ask assistance from the county government, from the national government, and from donors and partners. I have the privilege. I move around this club, but the problem is you don't have the foundation, you don't have the power to go in somebody's office and ask for assistance. If I become a member of parliament, I can speak on behalf of my constituents. But the way I am, I cannot. But I know very many places I can go and I can get grants to come and develop Malava level 3 hospital to even level 5, and then ensure that the MTC comes up and is functioning. When MTC functions, our children will go there for training, and as a result of that, the surroundings will improve. A community will build hostels, students will stay there, some people will work there, creating kind of the employment, and the ripple effect of that college will be immense. We also have the issue of Malava people that had been promised to have a university for many years. We'll make sure we have a campus of Muriro there, and many other things that ought to be done that will come from the people. The farming, sugarcane farming today, it has a tax that for you to get your money you must have e-citizen. I'll go to parliament and say remove this thing, and fight for it to ensure it's removed. Why do tax our farmers? So those are of course, with proper legislation. I'll defend my people through legislation. Yeah.
People are making crossroads right now in Malava, and they're telling them we need to be in government so that we can get development. And the party that you are coming in, I believe it is DAP, because you're talking about Aluya-led. So DAP.
No, we have many Luya parties. We have UTB of Chirongo. We have Lepa Party of Julio Jambo. We have Fort Kenya
we have DAP.
Though I have ruled out Fort Kenya. We have DAP. Of my Waziri Eugene, yes. And we have this one for Hamis, a very good friend of mine, very respectful man, very respectful man. That's very important in society.
Yes.
Yeah, we have this one for the late Hamis Mukanda. We have MDG for Ocheng. Ocheng is not a Luya. Ocheng is a Luya. So all these parties are there for me.
I know it's DAP, but okay.
But fine, if it's DAP, so be it.
Yeah, so the people making crossroads in Malava, they're saying you need to be in government for you to get development. So do you think they will actually settle for you? And the fact that you have been there, you have said that you feel betrayed by the government of the day, that is Ruto's, UDA. You told them that please let and now you're coming to them now. Don't you think that they will feel like you're not, consistent?
One, I want to ask you a question. We have been in government. The late was in government. What did he do in Malava? Zero. If you look at what other things we are the only constituency without an MTC. We are the only constituency in Kakamega County that our hospital level 4 has been downgraded to level 3. And it's the biggest, actually, supposed to be biggest in Kenya. Look at Butere. They have a level 4 being constructed. Look at Mumias. It was constructed, completed, it's functioning. Malava, instead of upgrading, is being downgraded. So you can't say you are the government to perform. Look at Nabi Nabwera. He's in ODM. Look at the development he's doing in Lugari. You don't have to be in government for you to do development. Look at even Ikoloman. My brother is doing a lot of development there. You don't have to be in government. National government constituent development fund goes to all constituencies. These other things depends on how you interact with people who are in charge of those particular departments, and of course other partners. You cannot say that you have to be in government for you to develop, because if that's true, then for 13 years we have not seen that development. We have been in government for 13 years. What has come to Malava because of the 13 years? Even the last elections, we are the only constituency in Malava that gave the president many votes, about 28,000 votes. No other constituency went above 3,000. And yet we have nothing to show. Nothing. So development, we have structures. If you talk of the money to the county, we have the county government. Money is allocated through the budget making, the division of revenue. When you talk of the constituency, we have the national government constituency development fund. If we still have president making pronouncement on the roadside, then we have not appreciated the import of the new constitution. The president has no money. He has no development money in State House. Development is appropriated by Parliament and the Treasury. So and it is not appropriated based on how you voted. It's supposed to be appropriated based on the need of the country and the need of the nation. Once you are elected, you become a president of Kenya. You don't become a president of your party. We have no president called the president of the Republic of UDA. It's nothing like that. He is the president of the Republic of Kenya, a symbol of national unity. That's why we should not have skill development. And I still believe that if the organs that were put in the constitution, CDF is not in the constitution, but they're trying to put it there, it can be removed. If you ask me, I say, give CDF 1 billion shillings every constituency and leave education for us and leave health for us. No one will complain. Why give? Counties have failed with health. They have failed completely. So why can't we remove health from the counties and put it to CDF? Because you remember, before, CDF used to handle everything. Education, health, security, everything. Now after devolution, they removed and it was left with education alone. Look at how health is looking like. You can't get money from CDF to buy medicine for your hospital. This crop of leaders, the governors that were elected this time round, have let down Kenya. Because like Kakamega, look at it. Oparanya left Buhungu Stadium when it was being constructed. It has stalled. Oparanya left this hospital, the level 7, when it had started. It has stalled. In Malava constituency where I come from, he left a road from Pudali to Malava when it has started being constructed. It has stalled. He left a dairy processing farm in Malava that he had started construction. It has stalled. All the project literally that the former governors left, and it's not only here, have kind of stalled. And therefore, these are the questions that can be placed answered by the governor himself. I can't say whether he's deliberately not doing it or he's doing it, because it's him who is the chief executive of the county. And maybe I'll recommend that you have a talk with him and ask him about this project that have stalled. And perhaps maybe we look at the skilled development. When you go to like Mumias, you find roads have been carpeted, where these people are coming from, something is happening. But other areas, everything has stalled. This question can be answered best by the governor himself. Yeah.
Maybe last question as we sum up. I would really want to know what is your take on Matiang'i and other presidential candidates that probably have, declared that they'll be running 2027?
Being in the opposition, and you remember when I was with Ruto, I defended him with the hilt. I may intend to do that because when you are with a formation, there are questions I'll ask Matiang'i in private, but I will not ask him in public because now we appear to be the same side. But I have serious questions about River Yala, Botis, that he must answer. Yes, if elections were held today, I'll vote for Matiang'i. If the two candidates are on the ballot, if there's Ruto and there's Matiang'i, I'll vote for Matiang'i. But he must be accountable for what happened during his time as the CS. And if I were him, I would have addressed that issue as the first thing when I was declaring my interest in the presidency. Because I believe those things might have happened even without his knowledge. But what's so difficult, just come out and tell Kenyans, I was not aware. We know how government operates. You can be a minister, and whatever is happening in the ministry, you don't know. That's obvious, it happens. Matiang'i would have been very forceful, as people could see. But you see, when it comes to action, there is the Inspector General of Police. Matiang'i, if you're a CS for insecurity, internal, they call it interior. You don't command these people. They have their own chain of command, and the commander is the president. A CS is not a commander. The commander-in-chief is the president. Then from the president, you have other commanders. So the buck stops with the president. If I were Matiang'i, I would have come out and explained that I don't know what was happening because I was just a CS. I deal with policy. I don't implement policy. And I have not formulated any policy to say go and kill people and put in River Yala. It was so difficult for him to explain that. So for me, from where I sit, as long as I'm working with him, that will be my line of argument. CS deals with policy. Does not give directives, does not command. Your work is to deal with policy, period.
As you finalize, why do you think President Ruto elbowed out almost everybody who was close to him, the allies, you, yourself, we had Clau Malala, Gashagwa, it's like everybody is just being, kicked out. What do you think is happening in UDA?
I think we were overambitious, and we didn't know who William Ruto was. And that's what everybody's saying. I still don't know who he is. I used to sit with him like the way you're sitting here, and we could discuss. But immediately he became the president, the only phone call he made to me was, leave my party. People are asking me to ask you to leave.
He told you, leave my party?
Of course, yes. I was at the airport. I remember vividly. It was around 7:15. I was taking a flight to Kisumu, then ultimately home. And I told him, yes, I'll resign. At that time, Malala was still with him. Of course, he made a lot of noise, trying to say how I was not an official. Those kind of things happen. But up to now, I think Kenyans are getting to know who President William Ruto is. We didn't know when he was selling the hustler narrative to us. We were hoodwinked. We cheated Kenyans, and we apologize. I apologize profusely that I told Kenyans, hey, that pesa mfukoni sasa imetolewa yote, hakuna kitu kwa mfuko. The only last thing that I have to tell Kenyans, that Kenya is your country, and it's only you who decide where Kenya is going to go through the ballot. Let us put a system in place that respects the rights of the Kenyans. If you are a public servant or an employed person with a payslip, and you're still dreaming of voting for this government, then you have a problem. Thank you.
That's how much more. And allow me next time, if I call you, I invite you for another interview, please. I know because of time, I have to call it a day. Asante sana. Thank you so much. So that has been the Kenya National Union of Nurses Secretary General Seth Panyako, talking about a number of matters, nurses, and also what is happening in the country right now. Sure that you tune in, and of course, we will be bringing you more on these sessions. Till next time. Hearing.